Hi everybody and welcome back to Persona 4 Golden, and we're at part 31 today, and we're starting off today's part with a bit of just a bit of character stuff. It's basically another story section which isn't strictly relevant to the main plot of the game. But it's just a nice little story section which is quite nice to sit through. It's quite a nice little section of the game. So basically what's happening here is that Nanako's been told by Dojima that he's bringing Watermelon back, and so we've invited so she asked us to invite everybody over to come have watermelon. Sorry, my throat. So yeah, it's just basically a nice bit of it's a nice bit of character stuff to go over until we head back to school, the end of the summer break and all that kind of thing. It happens. It happens in a big section of the game twice, because it happens for the summer. What's the word? Happens for the summer holiday, and it also happens for the winter holiday. So for the summer holiday, we had the travel to the beach, as well as seeing the this section with the watermelon and all that kind of thing. Sorry, bloody hell. And with the winter stuff, it will be a ski trip, and there will be something else which I can't remember right now. I can't really remember it. I can't remember the other section in the winter bit. And Nanako's kind of misinformed. The watermelon was already cut open and shared by the neighbours, so we don't get to eat it. That eating animation from Kanji is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know what's he got. He's sprinkling something and pouring it back in his pot. That's kind of... Never noticed that before. That's really fucking weird. So yeah, this is pretty much just a nice little bit of story. It's not really story. I don't know what the best way to put it is. It's just like character stuff, I guess. Getting to know the characters a bit more. And it's kind of... it's fun to go through, at least. I enjoy it.
You betcha.
You betcha. You betcha. So yeah, this is pretty much everybody just promising Nanako that we'll do this next year. We'll do it properly next year. And everybody went home, and that's really it. There's not really much to it.
Thanks for everything today.
Oh yeah, it's been and this is a little bit of character stuff with Dojima, I guess.
The case is finally solved. Now for all the...
Is he going to sleep? Never mind. Save it for another time.
For some other time.
Sorry.
You know,
so Dojima has
really made some great friends.
That little bit of dialogue there is supposedly his Dojima being kind of like, he's not he knows that the case has been solved, but he's still not 100% sure that it is, you know, 100% sorted out and finished, and that everything's fine again. It's a bit more of stuff like that, you know. It's supposed to say that he's not 100% sure that this is he's not 100% sure that this is the legitimate end of it, and he's not 100% satisfied with how everything kind of concluded with the case. So we go to school, and oh hi.
Good morning.
Hi Naoto, how are you?
You?
Pint-sized detective. That's a bit
I beg your pardon.
that's a bit nasty there, Yosuke.
Please don't give
Try and be a bit nicer, eh?
names you make up on the spot.
Bizarre nicknames.
You know this is a high school, right?
My cooperation with the police has come to an end.
So anyway, here he's pretty much telling us that
there are aspects of the case with which I remain unconvinced.
However,
There are
basically
some
the end of the
family-related
case
issues
is
as
here,
well,
so he doesn't have to do
so I've
anything
decided
anymore.
to stay here for the present.
But he wants to hang around because he has some
Come Day
things
4th, I'll be a first-year
that he's
and
not
classmate.
100% sure about regarding the case. He's not 100% satisfied that it's
And I thought
truly
that I should at least
done
introduce
with.
myself to
He
you
has
all.
some niggling doubts.
I trust our relationship
So he's going to
fortunes
be sticking around the high school, and he's going to be going to our school.
Hi. That detective boy's our underclassman?
So yeah, he's going to be... Naoto is now going to be at our school, which is fantastic. So here we are, we're in classes, and this is a bit of a... So yeah, here we are, we need to do a little bit of... We're in a... This is something I got wrong the first time. I thought venison was just a term for deer meat, but apparently it's just it can be used for basically game meat, as it's called. You know, like for animals known as game, like rabbits and wild boar and other such animals in that general category. I just assumed that it was only for deer, so I put deer, and apparently it was all of the above. So I eventually got it right. And here we've got another bit of a character thing.
Empty all of a sudden.
Come on, Yosuke. Everything went back to normal.
So anyway,
It's a good thing.
this is pretty much Yosuke lamenting that he's just...
Hey, we're stopping
He's a bit
at Juness later,
bored.
right?
He
Why
wants
don't we ask Naoto come to join
while
us?
they had the
Oh,
murders
I
to try and
just
solve,
thought, since he doesn't know anyone yet, he must feel lonely.
they were aiming towards something, and now
Didn't
it's
you
kind
say
of
he came
like
here to help out with the murder
kind of
case?
anticlimactic
With
that
the
he's
case closed, he's
it's
just
going
an
back to
ordinary
normal
guy now.
school life, which is a bit more dull,
And if you
I
think
guess.
about it, that makes him a transfer student, just like us.
So yeah, they're basically saying that we should try and
Maybe he
be
transferred here out of plain
friendly
stubbornness.
to Naoto,
'Cause he
and we
doesn't
should
seem
try
like
and
he's only in it for
um,
fun.
make friends with the asshole.
All right, let's see if he wants to hang out with us.
So let's see if he wants to
Celebrity
hang out
coming
with
to
us, eh?
school is already a surprise,
So
but
we're
a
gonna
detective
try
is
and
even
talk to him.
rarer.
Let's see what
I'm a little
happens.
curious to see what his family's like too. There's that, and the fact that he's a detective at his age.
Yeah, I should probably talk a little bit about Naoto. I should have waited.
Oh, speak of the devil. There's the little
Why
guy.
not?
You don't know the area
Naoto as a
right?
character is actually
Come on, we'll show
pretty...
you around.
It took me a
There's
while...
probably tons of places to hang out that only
It took me a
we
while to
know about.
kind of get used
That won't be
to him.
necessary.
Like his introduction... The introduction of Naoto
I'm
is
not
kind of...
interested in hanging out, and
He's a
neither am I
character that you
interested
don't
in
really
two.
like at first.
Huh? Hey, what
He's
did
kind
you
of,
say? What's with that attitude?
Naoto's kind of
I'm
harsh,
just trying to be
I think.
friendly.
Sorry.
Jeez, way to make
He's
an
kind of harsh and
impression.
kind of a very
Yo, Naoto-kun, how's it going?
brunt. You know, kind of bullish on the nose kind of thing. Which you don't really like at first, but then as you kind of get his... Spoilers, we're gonna get... He's gonna be one of our social link characters. Once we get Naoto as a social link character, he, you know, you find out more about him, and he starts
meet
to
May I help you?
Hey,
become
Naoto-kun,
more...
if you're not doing anything after school, want to come with us?
I think the word is he becomes more
with
kind of
You mean me?
interesting. And he's just more...
Perhaps
He's just
another
a
time. I have some
better
things to
kind
mull
of
over.
character.
Things to mull over?
I
must go
enjoy,
straight home
you know,
today.
so
I promised
later
my
on he does
grandpa so.
become... Naoto becomes much more interesting.
Oh well, that's that then.
Not even interesting, that's
Maybe
the
another
wrong word.
time.
He becomes a more likable character, and he also becomes someone that you really become kind of
Man, did
interested
you see
in as
Naoto's
well.
attitude?
He's a really
He sure
nice.
blew
He's
his
a.
debut
He's
in
a.
school.
He has a nice
He's gonna be
character.
okay, Gekkoukan.
He has an. Naoto has a
He's
nice
different,
character
but he
arc,
has this
which I kind of like.
mysterious air around him that draws your attention.
So yeah, there we
Whoa,
pretty much
Nico, I
saved his
never
ass for
knew.
being
You
too
like younger
fucking
guys?
blunt again.
No, that's
And
not
we're now here, and now we're discussing.
Naoto-kun
what
said
was
he
up
has
about
things to
him.
mull over, but he's got to be talking about the murder
Yeah.
case.
So it's pretty much us
He's
discussing,
some
the group
ace detective,
discussing
right?
the fact that he said that he's not 100% satisfied about how the
That's true,
investigation ended up finishing. So it's kind of like
but this place isn't our special
they're
headquarters
kind of
anymore.
like discussing, okay,
Let's talk about something
if you don't like how it turned
Isn't the
out,
class
that's
trip
kind of
coming up soon?
weird, don't you think?
Where are we going?
And so it's kind of
Seaport Island. I heard
yeah,
it's an artificial island
it's kind of
at the base of the
interesting
ocean. It's a big
that he's
beauty.
kind of, you know, because it kind of throws some doubt into to us as well. But then we throw that aside because this is the next, the final little. This is another little school trip kind of section. We already did one with the school camping trip, and now we're going to
The idea is we're gonna visit a private school there, like to
a new
have
city.
local and urban students interact.
basically we're going to take a field trip
It'll be
to
all about
another
studying and
city
serious
and visit another
business.
school.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the school. I can't remember the name of the
totally missing the
place.
point
What's
of
the
a
name of the
class
place? It's Middleport,
What kind of place is this
I
private
think.
school?
Is that right?
I heard it's really good.
Yeah, I
They have
think
nice
that's the
buildings
case.
and everything.
And so
Buildings
basically,
closed on the day we're
this is
going,
the
so they're
apparently
going
an
the
annual
extra mile to make this work.
trip
They want us to tour some factories on the second day, and then
that
we're
they
coming
take
back on the
to
third
go.
day.
That's no different from a social
Is a
studies
field trip to this
I didn't wanna
school,
know that.
and it's basically going to be, you know, a 3-day trip.
We'll be around.
And yeah, Yosuke's not happy because on previous years you can just,
I'll show you guys around.
you know, you have
But
you
we're in
one
different
day
years.
of you basically just
Oh, didn't you know?
you
Excursion group
meet
around
up
the
with the
campus.
school for a
We're
little
going
bit
to
and then
Hawaii
you
first
can
and
go off and
second
do whatever the
years.
fuck you want.
Since student enrollment is down.
This time
they've cut the
apparently
excursion back to once every
it's
2
going to be all
years.
school trips. So the first day is pretty much all lectures, and then the second day is going to be factory, and then the third day they go home. Oh, it's called Port Island is where they're going. That's Port Island. Sorry. I can't remember the name of the school though.
Doesn't this sound like a pain in the ass to
And there's something
everyone
quite
else?
interesting about the school, which I'll mention when I get there.
But it's been decided. And guess whose idea it was?
Sorry. Bloody hell.
Dang, morons.
So yeah, we're going to be talking to. So we're going to be. This is going to be happening in a few days,
Why must you torture
and
us
it's
for
just
me
going to be
on the
basically a load
grave?
of. Once again, as with all these things, with like the
You don't even know who that
school
is.
camping trip, that was basically all character stuff and not character development, but just character,
Back to work, will ya?
just getting to know the characters a bit more.
Even though the
This is
class
pretty
trip
much going to be
coming
the
up,
same thing
it's still a
of
ways away. What should I do until then?
you know, learning more about the
It's not like
characters
we got
and
much
kind
to
of.
do here in the first place.
Although I will say,
Man is just an animal trying to
part of it
figure out
is,
kill time through
I won't spoil it, but part of the trip, it does kind of
You made that sound like you were being philosophical.
push the main
It made
plot
absolutely no sense.
a little bit further forward.
Sorry.
But I'm not going to spoil it yet. We'll see what happens. You'll have to wait and see. Anyway, we're on to Friday. But between now and then, guess what we've got? We've got social links! So, so we've got a load of social links to go through first. And I decided to go in here. I can't remember why. I think it was to get some personas done. But we have got another Marie poem, which like I say, I like these poems. They're pretty cool. They're nice to listen to. And I think it says something about Marie a little bit as well. It does seem like, from her personality, she does seem like the type that would do this kind of shit. To be honest, I suppose I could have, to cut down on time on these things, I could have cut these out, I guess. Sorry. But I wanted to keep them in because it is part of the, it's more backstory and more deeper look into Marie's character, I guess. So I wanted to keep them in. So Margaret is kind of enjoying that she's kind of pissed off. And yeah.
You're back.
What do I do in the evening? I can't remember. Why did I keep this in? Oh, I must have got a photo. That's why. Fuck. I received a text message. Oh yeah, this is the next horror movie section. The next movie bit. So Yukiko wants to go to a movie. It's a horror movie. So yeah. Yukiko's liking for horror related stuff. It comes more into. It becomes more apparent later on in the game. It becomes a big part of the next big trip. So let's continue with the social links, and we're going to sort out Risei's social link now. We're going to continue with Risei, and we're walking with her. Apparently we took her to Okina City, and now we're going to, I don't know, we're going to walk with her, see what's going on. Maybe. I'm not really much of a tofu. Oh, whatever, fine. Grab the tofu. And so here we are, we're meeting. So here's Inoue, he's Risei's former manager. Or I should say, what's her stage name? Rosette. There you go. Fucking hell. Yeah, so he's Rosette's former manager, and he wants him. Tom, you can talk. He wants us to give him give her a letter from a fan who's really happy, who's he wants to know what's going on with her, basically. And this is kind of. It's kind of interesting that it's kind of. I like this section because it shows that he genuinely does care about her. That it's not like a.
Gee.
It's not a simple thing of just I'm gonna try and make money off her, and that's all I'm cared about.
No.
And that's all he cares about. It shows that he does care about her as well, which is kind of a nice little. A bit of character. It's a nice little bit of a. It kind of shows like he's not just an asshole who just wants to make money off her, and it's kind of like she's maybe. It sort of shows as well that he's not being completely awful to her, and that her kind of shutting him out and kind of shutting out that side of her life is kind of. She's really desperately trying to push that side away, and it's not really logical, I guess, from her from her point of view, that she's kind of not. She's just pushing it away for the sake of pushing it away, and it's not really the logical thing to do. So it's that kind of thing, and now she's talking about the letter. She's basically saying, she's wrote a letter saying she wants that there's this fan who's her biggest fan, and she wants her to come back. She wants Rosette to come back. And she wants, basically Risei wants. It's kind of like, it's the same thing with Yukiko and her story, where it's kind of the doubt. She's kind of having. She's having second thoughts on whether she's making the right decision. That is what she's kind of thinking about at this point. That she's not. She's kind of having doubts about. Like Yukiko was having doubts about whether she can just quit, just leave town forever and not think about the inn. Risei's still thinking about. She's having doubts on whether she can just leave. Whether she can just leave her show business self to one side and forget it forever. She's having doubts on whether she should. leave or whether she should go back to show business or whatever. Like I said, her social link, her like story arc is pretty interesting, and I like her character. And now Rise's at rank 6, 4 more to go. Yes, so when you have when any of your members of your party have an attack which the enemy is weak against, which is the enemy's weakness, basically what will happen is that Rise will inform you and say, hey, use this attack on him, and it will cause massive amounts of damage. So I really like that. It's really cool. It's a really, really, really useful thing. And so now we've got Yukiko's social link. So let's continue with Yukiko's social link now. Sorry. I've got a cold. Anyway, Yukiko brought us here.
Are you gonna wish for something too?
To the Tatsuhime Shrine. Here's a secret.
Something you can't tell me?
Yukiko seems curious. As you
I'm
would.
wishing for everyone's health.
Oh, that's nice.
Chie for you, for the others, and everyone at the inn too. And I'm wishing to become a woman worthy of you. Finally.
Sorry?
I wish that
What are you saying there?
smile together.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the one before the one you just said, but you know, whatever. It's kind of weird.
I've decided not to leave Inaba.
So yeah, here's. I think this is either a second to last.
Really
Is this the
objected to being the inn's
max?
manager per se.
I'm trying to remember.
I just didn't
I don't think
like
it is. I think it's either the second to last or the
I
last
felt that my life was on
social
rails,
link with Yukiko,
and I thought running
and
away
she's
was
pretty
the
much
only
just
choice.
come to terms with her
But no
choice.
longer. I want to protect
Basically
the
that
family inn. After
um,
all, it's
she doesn't want to
my
leave Inaba and she wants to stay and kind of
Thank you. I think it's
uh,
because of you
help
that I realized this.
the family
Because you were always by
in,
my
if you
side.
like. She wants to try help it to move on. Yeah, rank 9, so it's second to last. She wants to kind of stay in Inaba to protect the inn and to make sure that it keeps
I wanted to ask you this
going.
before.
And now she's asking us something.
Why?
Why? Why are you always
Why are
with
you
me?
always with me?
Oh dear, something's going to go down.
It
So
was
just like
okay
with
for me to
Chie, you now have an option, which is if you pick I really like you, then that is
Yes, precisely.
initiating
I just remembered I have an errand to run.
you know,
I'll be going now.
that's basically the choice that you make to make Yukiko your girlfriend. If you pick the other two, then that pretty much is just like, you're my friend, we're not, you know, and you don't really like sorry, that's just more of that's the friend kind of option for you. I chose not to this time because I picked her as my second playthrough, as I said before, but so I wanted to pick something different this time. It's brisk. So I do like these little sections where they talk about where they have the little bits of dialogue. You know, where they have like these you know, lessons and they have the test and stuff. I like all that stuff. Anyway, we're moving on and we're now doing a Yosuke social. We're doing a lot of social links this part. Oh well. So anyway, he's basically saying here how he found a picture of himself with Saki that they took when he first arrived here, and he's pretty much talking about how when she first got here, like when he first got here, he was like, I'm above. I kind of thinking that he's above this place and better than this place, and doesn't really feel like being here, and just hated being here, and he's growing to slowly like it as time has gone on. And also this is more of a kind of Yosuke is probably the one who we talk to within the social link who has the most kind of, I'm trying to think of the right word here. He's got the most kind, he's got the biggest kind of story arc. You know, like in personal story arc about how he really liked Saki, and he's like got the most personal investment in the actual story itself. You know, in actually solving these crimes. He's the one with the most personal involvement, because the woman that the girl that he really liked was one of the victims, and it's just kind of interesting how he changed. Oh, don't need that. That is you don't really need it, because with Yukiko in your party or Teddy in your party, they're your healers, so you don't need Yosuke to know diorama. So yeah, it's a personal anger thing about Saki having to die in this way, and how it's more of a personal involvement with Yosuke, which I really like, rather than the rest, where it's just like the other social links are more about inner growth. Yosuke's is more about inner growth, mind you, as well, but it's also a personal thing of which is linked to the case. And anyway, moving on, we're now here with Yukiko, and we're going to go to the cinema. Now we're going to go to the cinema. And yeah, these are always useful to learn new abilities and basically boost up your stats. You should always do it at least once with every single character, I think, just to boost up the stats of their personas a little bit. Always useful. So it's now the 7th, and I think this is the day before, isn't it? Yeah.
Yo. So are you ready for the trip yet?
So yeah, this is the is this the day of the trip?
Yosuke senpai hasn't even started packing. He's all
Oh
like,
yes, yeah, this is the day before the trip, and it's
You are way too excited
it's
about
just a
this.
little bit of character
I mean,
stuff.
you're
Just
even worried about how many boxes of animal crackers to bring. We're only gonna be there for 2
Kanji
nights,
being
dude.
super excited about
Besides,
it,
I'm
and
pretty sure they
Yosuke
have
being
convenience stores in Port Island.
taking the mick out of Kanji for being so excited about it.
never really left this place, so. Huh. I wonder if the
So
murders
yeah, it's
here
kind
got
of
as much play over there too.
Kanji's just so awesome here.
That Mitsuo Kubo dude. They're still
And this is
showing on
more
TV
discussion
here.
about the case, I guess,
Every time I switch on the tube,
that
the
they're
news is
kind of
showing,
like talking
what he wrote
about.
in his yearbook. Pisses me off,
I
man.
guess it's kind of
Freaking
social
media
commentary
slapping
about it,
together anything they can find
about
to make
how
the dude look like a born criminal.
mass
They
murderers
think they can
and
say anything they
killers
want about a guy who's
in
been
general
branded
just
a
get
criminal. It's just not right.
undue amounts of media attention,
I mean,
and
I still hate the guy.
kind of how they get
I don't know. After getting involved with all this, I started to realize how off base most rumors are.
overly exposed, I
It's
guess,
so messed up.
when they don't really
Well, I
deserve
gotta
to be
admit,
talked about
the
after,
news
you know,
can be
what they've
pretty
done
out
and all
there.
that kind of crap. So yeah,
It's Naoto.
and this begins the kind of
Yo, how's it
Kanji
going?
Good morning.
and Naoto
Oh yeah.
subplot, which isn't really much, which is,
Well, see you later.
that's probably not the right word. It's not even a subplot. So yeah, Kanji's not exactly happy about that. It starts a little subplot with Kanji and Naoto, which is just character stuff, really. And now it's the big day. We're going to Tatsuhime Port Island. That's where we're going. So yeah, we're going to Tatsuhime Park and we're going to Gekkoukan School,
What's up with this place?
which is the setting for Persona 3. So they use the music, the large chunk of this section uses the music from this section uses the music from Persona 3, basically the when you're walking around the school, which is actually a really nice piece of music. I really like it. And this is kind of this proverb. This is actually a reference to the beginning of Persona 3 when you first get into the school. This same principal makes the same kind of what's the word? Same speech, and it pretty much has the same reaction where they're kind of ignoring it. If you like, the students are kind of ignoring him, which is it's a nice little nod. This girl, I believe, is not in Persona 3. I think this is a new character just created for this game. I think I've hardly played any Persona 3, so I wouldn't know if this is a well-known character or not. I don't think she is. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think that she is. I think that she's more of a... She's just, you know, created for this game to be kind of like the student representative for this high school. And yeah, of course, as you have seen a few seconds ago, Yosuke and Kanji already have a massive crush on her. But then again, she is a bit jealous. Sorry. So anyway, yeah, we're just continuing this. So it's basically, she talks to us because, of course, yeah, every girl has to have the hots for us, of course. Oh, me? Sure. I do. Sure. Why not? So this is the schedule that we're going to be getting for the school. It doesn't really affect anything, like gameplay wise, because what ends up happening, I don't want to spoil it, should I? Whatever. Basically what ends up happening is that on the first day you have one lecture, and then that pretty much ends the day, and then the second day is when story stuff starts to happen a little bit more. Apparently she's nervous in front of us. Why? Why? You're older than us. Sorry. So yeah, it's pretty much telling you now that you've basically got a lecture, and that lecture is actually pretty important to the major. It actually has quite a bit of significance. Speaking on this for a moment, actually, the design, it does look really awesome. That it looks so familiar to the Persona 3 place. It hasn't really changed, which I kind of like. And I also think that the light shining through the little haze that you have there is a nice little effect. It just looks really nice, really sweet.
So, when's our fall period?
Kanji got that wrong. So yeah, basically Yosuke wants to know when our free period is. We don't fucking have one. So yeah, it's going to be lectures all day long. So anyway, we're just about at the end of this part, so join me next time when we continue with Persona 4 Golden, and we will be doing more stuff on this field trip. So join me next time for the next part of Persona 4. See you next time.